All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually sitting right now with Robert, also known as Pluto Mars, a very well-known pro wrestler in Texas. He's also an actor. He's been working in acting for over 20 years, and he does a lot of stage work as well. So I'm super excited to have him sit down with us. I know, Robert, I know you're very busy, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to come meet with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to talk to you guys today. I got a lot to talk about, and it's really exciting to do a wrestling interview outside of the paint. So you guys are getting a view of Pluto behind the paint, so to speak. So it's exciting to do this.
I know it's super exciting, you know. I see behind
Yeah,
you you have
yeah, yeah.
a full calendar. You said you have lots of things coming up.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm when I'm not wrestling, I'm a professional actor and I do a lot of musicals. I like to sing and dance. I went to school at TCU for theater. I've been acting professionally since I was about 15 years old, so I don't know. That gives away my age, right? Yeah, I've been acting professionally for a very long time. Right now, I'm in a production of Oklahoma at the Georgetown Theater over here
Okay.
in the Austin area, and that goes into production end of March, and at the Georgetown Palace Theater, and I'm really excited to do that. I'm playing the grumpy old dad with the shotgun, so that's gonna be
Okay.
fun to do.
Super excited.
Very on brand for me.
I'll make sure that when this comes out and everything's ready, we'll cut and crop and try to turn this into a little package promo so this way,
Yeah.
get more eyes on the content, you know?
Oh yeah, they'll appreciate it. Yeah, thanks. It's good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you too. I haven't seen you, I think, since May the 4th.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
May the 4th.
yeah.
That was a
Right.
fun event, you know?
That was a little Star Wars themed wrestling show that we did in the front of a store, and there's like a crowd of five very enthusiastic children that weren't even around.
Well,
That was a lot of fun.
it was. I like the video you shot with Chewbacca. Hey guys, I ran into an old
Oh
friend.
yeah,
Man,
yeah.
that costume was
That's always
crazy. If
fun.
I can get a clip of that in this video, I'm gonna put it right here so people can see
Please
that,
do,
that
please do.
video.
You can rip that off of my Instagram. Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, you take other actors who were into acting and then got into pro wrestling like David Arquette, and you got actors who were wrestlers like The Rock and Roddy Piper and a few others. And the guy who played what was the TV show? The guy with the hood like this. He was like Green Arrow. You know what I'm talking about? I think.
Oh, God, what was his name? David Arnett or something? Or something Arnett.
Yeah,
Yeah, he wrestled Stardust. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
Um, so why professional wrestling? What made you veer from your acting career and go into professional wrestling?
That's an interesting story. So I've been an actor for as long as I can remember. As long the first time I saw Gregory Hines tap dance on Sesame Street, I was just like, that's what I want to do. I want to perform. I want to be on stage. I was obsessed with making people laugh, with making stories, with getting people involved and just making them laugh, making them uh just go crazy. I was a very hyper kid. I loved telling jokes. I loved showing off. I just it couldn't get me to shut up. Kind of like I guess that never left me. But no, I always wanted to do that, and ever since I can remember, I was like, I'm gonna be a director. I'm gonna be an actor. I'm gonna go into that kind of world. Um, Wrestling has always been, especially growing up in El Paso, Texas, right along the border, it's always kind of been ingrained in the culture, kind of just been around and in our blood for as long as you can remember. It's just something that's in the periphery, in the zeitgeist of Mexican American culture, whether you like it or not. Um, I remember very early memories of just images of Hulk Hogan, just images of WWF, the blue
Yeah.
cage, the atmosphere, the ropes, these huge guys, and just very curious about it. Um, I mean, Hulk Hogan was just on TV, and just like,
Yeah.
who's that guy? Yeah, who's that guy? And having my sister explain, and my mom explain Hulk Hogan and the Von Erichs and these characters to me. So they're always just explain to me like they're larger than life, like these kind of like Greek gods, so to speak. So whenever I would see them on TV, after being told like these legends, I'd just be like, oh my God, they're real.
Yeah.
But wrestling didn't really strike a chord to me until I think I was around maybe first or second grade. And I was my sister was watching WCW because she liked to look at Scott Hall and
Hey, who
Raven.
doesn't, right?
Yeah. And I know she liked to look at them. And and I was like, "Oh my God, what are you watching? This is crazy." And then Hulk Hogan would come out, but he was Hollywood Hogan at the time. She was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, then she's like, "Oh, there's Hulk Hogan. He's a cool bad guy." Oh, okay. There's this legend that's been told to me. And then Sting will come out. It's like crazy face paint, like kabuki face paint, and I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? And then what really got me actually was Eddie Guerrero came out,
Oh
and it
yeah.
was explained to me, and my sister's like, he went to Jefferson High School. He's like, yeah, my friends knew him, and I'm like, wait, stop. You can be from El Paso and be on TV. That's what got me. Because coming to like, oh, I want to be famous, I want to be this actor, I want to be this influencer kind of guy. And I'm like, wait, there's somebody from El Paso that is on national TV right now, and then there's this legend there, Hulk Hogan. They're all in the same show. It's all thing, and like everything was just rushing through my head like a million 10 miles an hour. That was kind of my intro for it. My sister,
Hmm.
like, yeah, she introduced it to me as kind of a language that could be taught to me, telling me about the characters, something for us to really bond over.
Yeah.
And it brought the family together because, my dad had his people, my Ric Flair, uh, Freddie Blassie. My dad
Yeah.
loved Freddie Blassie, Andre the Giant, things that he saw in person,
Yeah.
growing up and going from town to town. And so it kind of brought the family together, me, my sister, my mom, my dad, just that core nuclear family together to like really indulge in these characters. And ironically, it was my first introduction to theater.
Hmm.
Something that I've been doing for 23 years, because wrestling is live theater. Wrestling is Greek theater. It is
Yeah.
a passionate story that you're telling with your body that you can understand in any language, no matter what you flip the channel to.
Hmm.
And it expands generations and different personalities. Me, my dad, my sister, my mom were completely different people. But we can get into wrestling and kind of understand story and what's going on. And growing up on that influence with WCW is what really got me introduced to wrestling and kind of getting obsessed with it in that kind of sense. And these people became my superheroes. Once Goldberg came out, that was like my hero. He was my hero.
I don't care what anyone says. Goldberg, hands
Yeah.
down. Who didn't jump for Goldberg? You know?
Yeah. I got my little Goldberg right there.
I always
Yeah,
wanted his
absolutely.
traps. You know, just
You wanted his straps? Now my mom called him that frog neck.
yeah. He-
Yeah. When Brock Lesnar came out, she was like, he looks like a frog. He got the frog neck.
It looks like they're
Yeah.
carrying a turtle shell on their back. The way it just goes up to the ear,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And
So,
pretty much.
so
That's
you're
where it started.
nice. So what actually, for your acting career and going through college and that, what actually made you take that first step into actually walking into a wrestling school?
Um, always wanted to be an actor. Did as many shows as I can during high school. I got a scholarship to go to TCU, go
Mhm.
Frogs. I was an acting emphasis major at TCU. I got my BFA there. Everything was going great. I really focused on improv. I was part of their improv group, Senseless Acts of Comedy, and I wasn't really paying attention to wrestling. that this was during the whole post ruthless aggression era, kind
Yeah.
of like the yeah. I kind of nobody was really paying attention to it. People
No,
my age.
everyone
Yeah,
veered off, really. Just like,
yeah. This was Vince on Crazy Sauce era. Um, the rated G era, so to speak. So, um, I did college. I moved out to Los Angeles, and life was pretty hard there because acting became a thing you kind of had to get permission to do. And it was an industry where you couldn't find, where I find validation and satisfaction in myself as a human being is when I perform. And acting is almost like you have to have permission in order to do it. You have no control over that permission, so to speak, because in when you're in an audition against 1,500 other people, the director's going to look for exactly who they want to look like, who they want to feel like it. They're going to have those options, and you're not in total control over that. So there's going to be months and months where you're just sitting on the couch, scratching at the walls, and not having that kind of creative outlet to do something. Um, I was just curiously looking through like what my old WCW heroes were up to. And Dallas Page was doing his first incarnations of DDP yoga,
yeah.
and I started to do DDP yoga when I was in LA, and I asked him for a job. I sent him a message, and I was like, "Hey, I just moved to Los Angeles. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing this. I'm looking for this job. I'm looking for anything to do." I sent him my resume. I was like, he is never gonna reply. And the fucker replied to me,
Oh,
and
wow.
that was like that was the biggest thing ever. And it's just like, "Hey, bro, no, we got our warehouse in Florida. It's too expensive to ship out of California." And I'm just like, Florida. Me like, wait a minute. I just got to reply to like someone I really like. That was my first like kind of like feeling like the business is like right there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not like acting where like it's far away. Your access to it, to the thing that you want to do, is just really hard to come by.
Yeah.
And that depression was hard. And but like here's me on a whim sending Dallas Page a message, and like the day later, like, oh, sorry, man. But like that was kind of like inspiring to me. So I continue to do my DDP yoga. Um, I eventually left Los Angeles because I really didn't like the industry of film, the kind of like the way that you're treated, and the way that kind of it feels. You're sitting in
Mhm.
a trailer for 8 hours before you have anything to do. And I'm a kind of a person that always have to be like in action and pleasing people. Like you've
Yeah.
seen me in a locker room, I
Oh,
never
yeah.
shut up. So I moved to Austin for a girl, and I thought it was going to
Ooh.
be a temporary experience. I thought it's like, oh, I'm just going to come over here and work my way back up to going back to Los Angeles. Um, we ended up breaking up. I was in a really bad uh, play at the time where it was in a graffiti park,
Yeah.
and it was like 3.5 hours long, and like the only audience members were homeless people. So that was in a bad place, relationship wise, in a bad place. And I've done announcing for like as an actor, you're gonna try to find little odd jobs everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I did announcing for America's Academy of Professional Wrestling for about a year. I was the announcer, and I would do different announcing jobs for wrestling. So just kind of be around. I was always just around. And I was in such a like an angry mood. I showed up to training one day, and then they were like, "Oh, Slack's here." They called me Slacks. Like, "Oh, Slack's here. You're gonna give this a try." And I was just all like gung ho, like, "Yeah." because I just like everything in acting sucked. Everything else sucked. It's like, I had to get a release out of this somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, and then I learned to spot, and I learned just like a basic routine, right? Like what you do in your first month and you learn. And
Yeah.
I realized it, it to wrestle for me, it took every aspect of training that I've ever had. Dance, remembering movement, where your feet are, singing, vocal control, having the projection to get your expression out to a crowd, acting, showing the emotion, your intention, what you show to your face to the crowd, whether you're on top, you're on bottom, you're showing pain. Improv, what do you do between the spots? Where is it going? How to put a match together, how to make it make sense, and how to tell a story. Every single part of my professional performance training apply to all aspects of wrestling.
Mhm.
And here I was doing a leapfrog, sudden zap realization in my head. And in all the class, I was very unathletic and at the time. I was a very skinny guy. Everyone was like, "Wow, you're the announcer. Where'd you have that in you?" I don't know. It was just like kind of like natural. Like everything kind of built up to that.
Yeah.
Everything kind of fed into that. And yeah, and then I got stuck in that world for about 7 years.
Okay, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But I was actually thinking about something similar. Like you had, your acting career, you had, all these things that all of it just kind of melts in. It's kind of almost like you're building up to this moment of going to acting school
yeah,
and building together. How many years
yeah.
now have you been wrestling since you first walked through those doors?
About 7 or 8 years, going through America's Academy of Professional Wrestling, AAPW over here in Austin. The pandemic happened, and I went to go train in El Paso for a little bit under Pro Wrestling Zen, and now they're Pro Wrestling Legacy.
Oh,
And then I went back to Austin, and I trained under Dustin Rhodes. There's this little picture over there of us at the Rhodes Wrestling Academy.
oh, nice.
And yeah. So I just kind of like continued. I never stopped. I never gave up. I guess it's if there's like one thing that I can impart on those interested in the business is just like just don't give up, you know. Um, and if you're really meant to do it, you can't. I've tried to give up like 3 or 4 times, and then I show up a couple of weeks later.
Yeah.
You really can't. So persistence is key. And know what you're good at. Like um,
Like I'm good
yeah,
at picking people up and throwing them because
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
love lifting heavy weights, you know?
yeah.
And you,
Exactly, exactly.
but you're better at getting the crowd more involved and entertained because you're trained
Yeah,
to get the crowd, involved. You're trained to
yeah,
have that presence so all eyes are on you, you know? So,
exactly. Yeah, you get it.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how it started training wise. Yeah, for sure.
What's one of the biggest challenges you faced since you started this journey in professional wrestling? Something that almost made you
Well,
quit.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, training at first is really, really tough. Especially, I didn't come from an athletic background. I was just like skinny college boy. I think I got a little picture of little skinny college boy there.
Oh yeah. I also
So
saw the picture of you with Goldberg too. You were
yeah. I was very small. Yeah, I was very small. So it was really tough for me to really do the training. A lot of like just kind of weird giraffe kind of wonky steps where it was just kind of discouraging. Like one of the first characters they pitched to me was like, "Okay, you're a special needs guy that just escaped from the mental hospital." And I'm like, why? So it's like, oh, because you're very uncoordinated. And I'm like, no. Yeah, so there's a lot of adversity with that, with challenging with challenges with impressing myself. I say was the biggest thing, and just kind of like feeling like I'm enough. And I, I'm the first to admit I'm not the best a technical wrestler. I'm not the best um uh person that's proficient athletically, but and so the challenge for me is like I just wanted to be a part of it, and I just wanted to fit in, and just constantly showing up and showing that I could do this. I can go through the training. I can go through these matches. I can put these things together, and I could do what I can do and not give up to the point where like I can go like I think I'm kind of recognized. Like I'm always there. I've always have been there. I've been in the business for a while. Like I was on a cruise the other day and I saw Ricky Starks there, and I've trained with him before. And training has always been very, very tough. And then, he just comes up to me and shakes my hand. Like it's just like I think I've gained the kind of respect for just being persistent and not giving up. So
Definitely.
persistence is key sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, see, that's very important too, because I know I had a lot of. When I actually first started, got back into it, I actually got a lot of injuries from
Yeah.
training because you want to try things before you go out and try them in the crowd. Like I did a leg drop off the top rope, crushed
Why? Why would you do
just to
that?
try it. No one was doing it, and I was like, I want to try it.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
I know why. I crushed my tailbone, and for the next 3 months, I needed assistance to get up from a chair.
Wow.
You know,
That sucks, man.
I know I broke my
Sorry
thumb.
about that.
Yeah.
You literally broke your ass.
No, I got really angry at a stamp. I'm like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's hilarious. No, I was on a roll after graduating from Dustin school. Like I was like wrestling was my I dropped everything else I was doing. I didn't act for a couple of years, and I was just committing everything to it. And I broke my leg doing the back the on the ropes doing the cane backflip out of the ring
yeah,
onto the
Matt.
gravel. Yeah, yeah, but the things the it was on rocks, so it slipped, and my ankle was completely broken.
Oh,
So I broke my tibia on my leg, and that slowed my momentum for sure.
oh man, that's crazy. They didn't bring you up to the
Yeah.
mothership and fix it.
Nah, nah, nah. We didn't have that technology. They're still looking for me.
But so what actually went into creating this character? Because you created a very intricate character named Pluto Mars, who's not from this
Yeah,
planet. And you
yeah.
mentioned you were really into the WCW. You were into like Sting, Ultimate Warrior. They had all these face paints, and I noticed you also do the face paint. I really loved the David Bowie look you did a while back, the lightning bolt that went down the face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would love to
Yeah.
see that again in the future, you know? But
I've done that a couple of times, yeah.
why Pluto Mars and what went into the idea of creating this character?
It all comes back from this guy. I'm gonna pull in another Funko Pop little thing. So the best show I've ever done, my best performance was Rocky Horror Show.
Ah,
And I did that in like 11 years ago. And I was cast as Riff Raff. But I didn't want it to do like a little um goth butler guy. I wanted to be
yeah.
like this very excited space engineer is like, yes, I'll do whatever you want, of course. So and his whole motivation was to kind of take over the planet, kind of go from there. And there's a scene at the end of the show where Riff Raff and his sister are kind of like dressed like kind of the silver clad Power Ranger type things with the space guns and I took a red face paint and I drew like Sting's lines on my face and I had these they kind of like resembled like white kick pads with silver leggings and everything, and I was like, and I look in the mirror, and like I felt really cool. I really loved putting that character together. I love that character. I love being that character so much. That's the origins of who Pluto is. Kind of that sort of overexcited spaceman that wants to conquer things.
Okay.
That kind of wants to take over the world, kind of thing. That energy, that excitement. Um, I really loved being that character, and growing up, my favorite video game is kind of just Earthworm Jim. Got a little one of a kind leather wallet of
I
Earthworm Jim.
love.
Can you tell I'm from the 90s? Can you
I
tell?
no no. I had the video game. When you
Yeah,
take off
yeah.
your head and you whip it and then you swing.
Yeah.
I
Not just that, it's just yeah. Not just that, is like everything he yells is stupid, and he's just he yells everything. And so if you ever see a Pluto promo, especially when he's a face, it's like
yeah.
so he's kind of like Marvin the Martian, like a little bit of Marvin the Martian, a little bit of a little bit of Earthworm Jim in him, just always kind of my plan is foiled kind of thing. Um and mixed with that kind of essence of who I was in Rocky Horror. That's the character at his core of who he is. And being the theater person that I am, I wrote kind of a biography, like a treatment of who this guy is. And so he has a whole backstory. And essentially there is this planet,
Mhm.
and Pluto was taken hostage because he's a great engineer. He likes to make weapons and things.
Okay.
And the evil empress, which I called in the script, I called her Space Bitch. The Space Bitch captured Pluto, and he found a way to escape. He found a way to escape with like a steel chair that's made of laser beams or something. I don't remember. And then I find a pod and I escape the planet, and I'm on my way to the galaxy. And on the little space TV, there's nothing to watch, but I'm getting towards where I'm going. I'm getting old signals from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and all those old signals are black and white wrestling tapes. And I see these
Oh.
larger than life figures, and I'm like, oh, these warriors, I can take advantage of them. I can show them who's boss. So I'm like learning about Karl Gotch and and Luthez and all these people that haven't been around for 60 years. And my spaceship lands, and I'm in Earth now, and I'm looking to. I learned how to wrestle by watching all these old things, and and Pluto's constantly on the search
Yeah.
for these old superstars that don't exist anymore. So that's the origin of the character that I wrote for myself, and I encourage anybody that's coming up with a character to really just sit down and write it out, write a story for yourself. It doesn't matter how stupid it is. That way, you always have something really to draw from.
Yeah.
It's always there. I have that script. It's like 5 pages long somewhere in a drawer.
I
Yeah, yeah.
love it. I'll maybe one day you can actually use AI to create like a little short film that shows Pluto. Because you can do it now. If you know how to prompt, you can create a whole movie now from the beginning and end. Your
I
character.
I love that, Matt, but my artist friends will be very mad at me for promoting the use of artificial intelligence. So
Oh no.
I would rather hire some of my good friends to draw that comic book out, and I think
Yeah.
that would be a dream come true to
Oh,
draw that as a comic book. I think that'd be great.
oh, that would be awesome. If you ever
Yeah,
do
yeah,
come
yeah,
out with it, there's a site. I'll get with you offline. I think it's called Blurb.
yeah, yeah.
You can always create your own book, and I know I would buy one if you put one out. You know.
That'd be great. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
That'd
I
be
like
fun.
how he was getting the signal waves, and that's how he's learning how to wrestle. It's a very like 80s,
Right.
90s explanation of how aliens
Yeah.
learn things. Like they land on Earth and
Yeah, yeah,
they just
yeah.
go through books like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
pretty much. Like, cause that's what we grew up on. Like, my favorite Martian,
Oh, my favorite Martian.
or like when Johnny Five, what was the name of that short circuit robot would just be in the
Yeah,
just be in the library, like, oh, I read a book,
yeah.
but
No,
there's
no, no.
still just the awkward,
That's,
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
I got. That's
just
what
the
I got from.
awkward personality of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man, I love
Yeah,
that.
like whenever I try to explain him, he's like bad sci-fi, bad science fiction. And the face paint is it ended up being looking a lot like David Bowie. And I've gotten a lot of, like, Dustin even says, like, oh yeah, it reminds me of David Bowie. Reminds me of this. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. It lends itself there. It starts with like Sting for sure. Um, and then thinking about how when I was in Rocky Horror, I did those lines like Sting, and I was like just experimenting with like, let's paint the face white. Let's see what I can do that's not necessarily Sting. And I read a lot of comics, and I really loved this. There's a comic book called The Wicked and the Divine, and the god characters in that series have beautiful, intricate face paint designs in them. And one of the villains has like a black stripe over his
Yeah,
over his eyes,
it's
and
like,
like, yeah, and like little it changes all around because it's supposed to be like that's the cloud of the galaxy, and he
oh, I
has
love that.
wide eyes and different things. So yeah, so like that's my little galaxy band that I have over there.
Oh, that's super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I really like, because just having the outfit isn't enough to make me feel like I'm a completely different, like a non-human kind of thing. I needed
Extraterrestrial.
something, yeah, I needed something extra, like something to put on top of that. And
Yeah.
I never was a mask guy, so that's pretty much the origin of being a paintsmith, so to speak. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice. Do you think there might be a script in the future for a stage rendition of Pluto Mars?
I
Pluto
don't think
Mars
so.
attacks?
I don't know how to get there.
That'd be a fun
um,
improv. That'd be a fun improv thing one day.
yeah. Well, they've done some, because like wrestling has been really hot for like 5 years, and all of the TV shows that are based on wrestling, all the movies that have popped up and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's on the verge of like kind of oversaturation into mainstream. Um, in the theater though, it doesn't make a lot of sense unless you focus on the relationships that happen outside of the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to have some kind of tilt onto it, other than like, why would you go to the theater to see a theater? It's a because
Yeah.
wrestling's a play itself. Why would you go see a play that's also a play? I know they're doing a musical called the Last Match or something, that's and some other things, but well, actually there's I meant to read this play. There's this woman, the Bruiser Brody story. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of has some elements of that, where the daughter gets into the business to try to find the killer
Oh,
and
wow.
tries to corner him, the locker him, to kill him back. I need to find that play. But you see that it's in the wrestling world, but not about wrestling. I
Yeah.
think that's what it would have.
Oh man. Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. But I would love to see a Pluto Mars, the musical. The whole journey.
Yeah,
That'll be really fun to see. Um,
maybe a cartoon would be the best I can give you there.
so you're
Yeah.
still wrestling, but you're also veering back
Mhm.
into acting.
Yeah.
Um, which one do you think you're gonna lean more towards this year in 2026?
Honestly, I don't know how much I got left in the jetpack, so to speak. So I'm not full-time wrestling like I was before, but there's things that you can do that um that don't require going 110 miles an hour anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what my bread and butter is. I try to be more of a body guy these days. Like I mentioned, I broke my leg before, so I can't really jump, put a lot of weight onto it. But there's other things I can do in a match, and I like to bring it down to a very technical level. do a lot of chain wrestling and a lot of American style and British style stuff that a lot of people in Texas don't see a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, Wrestling's changed nowadays, where it's changed again. Where even if you go train, it's a lot of look what I can do. Let's build to the big move, and I
Yeah.
like to build to the story of what we're doing. So it's changing, and it's I don't think change is a bad thing. I think if people enjoy that, and that's what they do, and that's what they're into, and that's what they want to learn, all power to them. It's not what I grew up on,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Yeah, and that's okay. I think when like I'm in my 30s now, so like I can tell I'm getting slower in some things. So things are kind of winding down, and I'm kind of going back into musicals again this year with my Oklahoma stuff, but there's still stuff I can do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
You're not quite ready to
um
hit the space boots yet.
well, not that is like when you're in front of 1,000 people and they're throwing things at you is like I can't do that on the theater. You know,
Yeah.
I do a character for Party World Wrestling, and
Yes.
I'm the underbaker, and
Yes.
I'm an evil pastry chef, and I can do that part when I'm 60 years old. Just walking
Yeah.
around not stoic, not doing a lot. So I think no matter what, I'm always going to be business adjacent, in some kind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or you
if
can,
I can't go, yeah,
or you can start a podcast.
um, I can start a podcast. Yeah, yeah. But it would be nice to kind of have a have a match where I give back to to the business and to my family and to those moments of saying thank you to my sister and my dad and to El Paso for kind of having this tradition of wrestling, having this tradition of these stories that we all grew up on that still exists and still evolves. And I want that moment to kind of put my boots in the ring and thank you for the time that you allowed me to be a part of this, to time that for working out with Dallas Page, for meeting Roddy Piper and telling him that his trainer was his tag team partner, from working with Dustin Rhodes, having these incredible moments that I would have never had if I stayed in the film business. I
Mhm.
think I want that moment to have that match, to put my boots in the ring to say, thank you
Now,
for having me.
now, if you can have that moment, that one moment, that one match that's gonna be blown out, is gonna be your homage, your thank you to pro wrestling. Who's standing on the other side of the ring from you? Who's the one
Well,
person that you would love to see, a dream opponent, some may say, or someone you know, but someone you would love to just have that match with. But
there's a lot of people out there that show a lot of potential, and there's a lot of people there that show their heart and their soul of what they can do. And there's this kid, Cosmo Orion,
yes,
that's really tearing up the solar system and the skyscraper of celestial real estate wherever he goes. And I would just love to show him every single thing that I've learned in my training, in my studying of all of these celestial transmissions with all of these promos that I had, all of these matches that I have seen in my thousands of light years journey from my planet to this one, to show him everything that I've learned in the ring and put him to the test, and to see who is the true celestial being of this galaxy. I think that'd be a moment that everybody would love to see.
I know I'd pay to see it.
Good.
Yeah, I never pay for shows. If I'm not working it, if I'm not working it, I don't go. So, but
Ah, you're one of those guys. I love it.
a lot of people think it's weird. I really, I watch some wrestling when it pops up, but I really don't watch it. I like to go to the school, train with the guys, and then I like to go to the ring and I like to wrestle. You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah.
You know? But no, I would love to see that match. You and Cosmo Ryan. He's from I believe Pro Wrestling Legacy,
Yeah, yeah.
PW in El
hmm
Paso. Oh yeah,
hmm
that could definitely happen. That could definitely happen. I actually,
We'll see.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
cut up this video. I'm gonna create a nice little Instagram reel, and I'm gonna tag you, and I'm gonna tag him in it, and see what happens. You know, who knows?
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe summer. Actually, this would be a special year because I don't know if you know this. In this year, we're gonna have 13 full moons instead of your normal 12.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
I know. It'd be
Yeah.
really cool if you guys had that match on the 13th full moon. You know.
What does it mean? We don't
We
know.
don't, we don't, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
that'd be great.
what advice would you give any young wrestler who just started and wants to stand out in the business? Because your character really stands out. But you're not like flamboyantly like, look at me, guys, being disrespectful or crazy, but you naturally stand out. What advice would you give young wrestlers who want to do
Yeah. You hear it a lot about characters, just like kind of yourself dialed up, and like you've heard my journey and my story, and kind of how I pulled this character out of real life experience with doing theater and the things that I grew up on and things that I liked. Um, you really to stand out, you really have to talk. I think that's what's going to get you to New York. For
it?
that's an old school term of saying
Yeah.
to WB or on TV. Uh, Practice cutting promos with yourself in the mirror. Read a lot. Watch a lot of movies. One thing I learned from Dustin is that whenever you hear a line that you like, write it down. Or whenever you come up with something creative, Roddy Piper had a notebook of just one lines that he came up with. Just one liners. That's why he had so many great one liners because he just like look at his notebook and see what I'm going to pull out. That's where he came up with the bubblegum line. It was just some random thing he came up with on the road, you know.
Oh man, I love that movie too.
Yeah, yeah. I would really suggest taking improv and really learning how to talk. I think that's going to get people interested and differentiate you from what you can do in the ring. I think right now everyone is really they kind of the same right now in terms of the crazy shit that up and coming wrestlers are trying to do. So I think the people that stand out to me are those interesting characters that kind of catch your eye and make you go, what was that? I see like I think the last person that comes to mind is Orange Cassidy.
That's what I
You know,
was thinking.
no one, yeah, no one has seen that before. Like a breath of fresh air, and yeah, he can move, but what got him into the door is just being different, having that character. So like watch movies. If there's a character that stands out to you, kind of like think of what makes him that way, and how you can apply that to yourself, and what parts of yourself that you can really put into it. And I think that will help people stand out.
Awesome, awesome. Now, usually when I end these interviews, I like to ask open-ended question, and it goes, you're a pro wrestler when.
You know, you're a pro wrestler when you sit down and then you take a breath and then go, my spine, my
Everyone,
spine.
everyone mentions the pain. It's true
Yep.
though. It's true.
Yeah.
Aunt I don't know, you know Aunt from El Paso.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Yeah,
said
yeah.
he said is when you sitting down like eating popcorn while watching a movie, and when you stand up, all you feel is your bones click as you stand up.
Yep. Or or this one too. When you look at a flight of stairs, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that is so true.
Nothing stops Nothing stops a wrestler more faster than a flight of stairs.
I was asked that question a while back, and
Yeah,
my answer was, you're a pro wrestler when you smell those red hot candies, those red hot cinnamon red hots, and you
yeah.
automatically think of those luchadors who just oil themselves up with that what's it called? That shine they
Icy hot,
no, it's like a shine they put on their body, like some kind of
hot
oil.
stuff.
Yeah,
Was it hot stuff? Yeah,
I
yeah,
think so, and it smells like cinnamon red hots, but they douse their bodies in it.
yeah. That's such an old school thing. I didn't
Yeah,
know they do
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, they all do it. And one time I got locked in a headlock, and the whole ride home, I'm like, I need to go home and shower because from here to here, I just smelt it on my face. I go, "Ah, I need to go shower."
Yeah, Goldberg talks about that. Like Hollywood Hogan put him in a headlock in like he can see Goldberg in a match like, oh my God, because he had the hot stuff in his eye the whole time.
You
And he
know,
thought he was getting ribbed. He thought he was getting ribbed, but like I don't think he knew that all the body guys, all the old guys that just put that on themselves.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
But Robert, thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time. I really appreciate this,
Thank you,
man.
man.
It was very insightful and very informative. And I'm pretty sure everyone who's going to watch this is going to learn, take something away from this. So I want to thank you so much
Hell yeah.
for joining me today. And I hope by the time we have the 13th moon, I can have you on again. So maybe we can
That'd be crazy.
we can do a little recap of 2026, see how the acting and the wrestling has gone for you. Sounds
I
good?
love that. I love that. Yeah, it sounds great. And I'll see you guys at the Georgetown Palace Theater at the end of March and April for our production of Oklahoma. So I'll see you
Oh,
guys there.
you take care, brother.